Hi peeps, it's Tess back on the old squat box once again. This is just a random video. I'm having a drink, watching some videos, and I was just thinking about things, you know what I mean. And one of the things that crossed my mind is, why do I get so angry with, not just religious people, it's not just, the fundamentalist Christians, but why do I get so angry with people who think like the Mayans had it right and the world was going to end this year? Why do I get so angry with people who think that, the pyramids obviously needed to have some kind of, alien fucking influence for us to be able to build them, And the proof of this is the fact that, pyramids were built all around the world around about the same time or within 1,000 years or so. I mean, they built pyramids in Taiwan. They built pyramids in China. They built pyramids in Egypt, obviously. They built pyramids in South America. They even built pyramids made out of mud and wood in North America. The North American Indians did that. But these weren't all done at the same time. There was 1,000 years or so, maybe more, between one being built one place in the world and being built in that. And a lot of people say, that's kind of took time for that knowledge to pass. But that's got nothing to do with it. When you look at the actual growth of these civilizations, it took those civilizations that amount of time to get to that stage where they tried and erred and failed and then tried again and succeeded. It's a bit like when you look at the Scottish history, that there's there's the old adage of try, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And this is supposed to come from Robert the Bruce escaping the English and during one of his battles, and hiding in a small cave, or a divot, a small excavation, from his intended captors. He escaped from them, and while he was in that cave, knowing that the battle had been lost, and he could have fell into a depression and thought, that's it, we're done for, things are won. But while he was there, he had nothing to do but wait, and he watched this spider trying to spin a web, and it failed. For some reason or other, dust falling or gravel falling or the wind blowing, it failed to get its web done the first time, and it tried again. And it failed, and it tried it. And he thought, if a single insect, an insignificant animal like that, has got the courage when it fails to get back up and try again, to keep trying until it succeeds, which it eventually did when he's in it. Eventually it got it right and it succeeded. And that's when he supposedly, this is anecdotal evidence of the worst kind, but this is what Robert the Bruce is supposed to have brought to the Scottish people. If at first you don't succeed, try again, don't give up, never give in. You know what I mean? These are the things that the Scottish people have got imbued in them. It's the sort of thing that we were all told as children and grew up to think that this is what we should bring to our lives. And that's why I hate to fucking see people like Mitt Romney and the pricks over there turn around and say 47% of the fucking nation of America want stuff for nothing. They don't want stuff for nothing. They just don't want to be crushed under the boot heels of the fucking powerful and rich. They want fucking have the ability to have a chance at becoming rich themselves. They don't want the ladder pulled up, the rug pulled out from under them. They want to have the same opportunities you had as a child, when your government was very strong, very powerful and well fucking funded. Stop defunding your government. It's what made you have the ability to become fucking rich in the first place, you fucking rich motherfucker. Anyway, getting past that, crazy people who think that only aliens could possibly have given us the knowledge to cut blocks of stone and drag it miles and miles and miles and pile them on top of each other. You watch a child in the sand at a beach, a 4 or 5 year old child, never built anything in its life, knows nothing about building shit. It will still build a fucking sandcastle. And what kind of sandcastle does it build? Well, a mound mostly. It's a mound. They pile sand on top of sand, and they see that the sand falls down, and they know that they can't just dig it close. They know that they've got to take sand from farther away to pelt up because it gets a wider base as it gets higher. They see and realise this, and their imagination then takes off. Then they see that wet sand can be moulded. And a year later, when you go back to the same beach, they're building shaped, straight-edged fucking castles. They don't even need to demand that you buy them a mould bucket in the shop. They have more fun putting wet sand down and carving it away with a stick to get sharp sides and build shit. And when you see children doing that, when you see children overcoming the inability of sand, dry sand, to stay, in a shape, and knowing that by wetting it, they can fucking carve it, and then it will dry out and hold its shape. Even children of 6 fucking years old can work that out. What do you think a civilization can do with intelligent people, as intelligent as you and me? What do you think they can do over 1,000 years of trying to build up? For some reason, thinking up is better than down. This is the funny thing as well. When you look back to when we went building, we were using natural shelters. We were happy to go down into caves with fat from animals, rendered from animals as candles, and put our mark in the deepest parts of those caves, those dark, supposedly dangerous places. We went down with nothing but fucking fat rendered from an animal we ate, in a fucking, a shell or a hauled out piece of wood or a hauled out piece of stone, burning in our hands, and then we spat chewed up gravel basically. We spat that on the wall over our hand and left our mark in the dark. And now it seems that people are scared of dark places. They associate it with evil and death and all that, and yet we didn't seem to back before we started building pyramids, back before we started, the idea of construction, building huge glass fucking edifices into the sky. And what about how mankind solved the problems today of building skyscrapers? A lot of it doesn't come from the fact that we use cranes, because sometimes those cranes have to be off the ground in the air in order to build the next stage. That's not natural. That took ingenuity. That took lightening the crane, making the crane as light as possible, as strong as possible. It was the same problem of moving a gigantic block of stone, from one place to another without having a crane in the first place, or a tractor, or any kind of power other than perhaps yourself, oxen, horses, elephants, camels. Yeah. And how do we not know that they used elephants and camels and oxen and horses to move these blocks of stone? We don't. When you look at all the places in the world, we don't so much see it in Egypt. We find lots of remains of bread, beer, and meat. But when you look at the places in England where there's large constructions of stone, take for instance, the Stonehenge, right? Very nearby, there are very large areas where lots of people were very close to the same time, if not exactly the same time, where there are huge pits of boars and oxen, that have been eaten. Now that might, in my estimation, it might have been celebrations we did every year, but it could have been that there was a huge celebration. It could have been we ate the sheep and the pigs where we built Stonehenge, but all those oxen bones and horse bones, maybe that was at the end when they'd completed Stonehenge, and you'd all these oxen and horses, and what you're going to do with them? Well, you could sell them off, but a lot of them are probably done. They've come to the end of their working life, and you've got 1,000 people to feed at a feast you're going to have to celebrate finishing Stonehenge. I think they butchered the animals that they used to fucking pull and move the stone. Well, I can't prove that's where it is, but it's as good a fucking idea as they learned levitation from fucking space people and moved the stone from Wales to fucking Stonehenge. by levitating it, you know. It doesn't make sense that they would learn levitation. It makes sense that they might have had fucking lots of animals pull those stones rather than people. I mean, oxen and horses would have been readily available for these people. They would have been readily available. Why wouldn't they fucking use them? Why would a man, right, start greasing bits of wood and start moving them back when they could fucking get a horse to fucking pull the fucking thing? You know what I mean? Or an ox. And the oxes were fucking big back then. You ever seen a fucking real bull? A real bull can be fucking like 12 fucking 13 feet fucking long. And fucking 8 foot at the shoulder. Big fucking animals, man. You know, okay, they're not normally not 8 foot, they're normally like, you know, 4 foot fucking 9 or something, 4 foot 10, you know. 5 foot maybe at the shoulder, but you get big fucking animals, and back then I think the animals were big. I'm not sure, I can't really swear, but you know, even an animal that came up to my shoulder, hit its shoulder, you know what I mean, and had its head out and shitty up, you know what I mean. I've stood next to fucking, you know, bulls and cows, you know, fucking big fucking animals, man. Horses, most horses' heads are above me, his shoulders are fucking, you know, up to my eye fucking level. Those fucking heads can pull blocks of stone for fucking miles, more than a man could. Why do we think men had to fucking be rolling bits of blocks of stone and fucking pushing and pulling it? No, I mean, why wouldn't they use animals like we did for fucking, you know, 300, 400, 500 fucking years in the recent fucking history, you know what I mean? 18th century, you know what I mean? Fucking hell, we were pulling fucking cannons in the First World War with fucking horses, you know? Didn't have tanks back then, you know? Why would we even start using horses if we weren't using them back in those days of pulling stone? And that's another thing as well. I mean the Andes, you know what I mean? How did they build all these? I'm sure they didn't fucking put the stones on their shoulder. And another thing as well, why do we think that the stone had to be square when they moved it from one place to another? You do know that if you make a column of stone, you know, you chip the corners off of it, you take a block out, you cut the corners off, you know, you make a column lying on its fucking side. That'll roll a lot further, you know what I mean, by itself. Just with wedges at the back of it, and then you turn it back into a block at the other end. I mean, you know, if they've got all the time in the fucking world and all the manpower in the world, why would they fucking carve it into a fucking block and then try and slide it across the ground as a fucking block? Why wouldn't they carve it into a fucking round object, roll it there, and then carve it into a block at the side? Who knows? We don't know these things. Some people have got these strange fucking ideas of, well, that's what it ended up as. But then I look at stuff we've got today. I mean, there's a glass, you know. This glass didn't start off that, you know. It wasn't carved from anything, you know what I mean. It was made in a factory. It was made in a certain place, and the stuff to make this, sand mostly, I mean, was brought from miles away to make it into that. And anything we eat, you eat bread. Bread wasn't made where the corn grew and then brought to the shops to say, no, the corn was fucking grown there. It was moved to a place where it was turned to flour. The flour was moved to a place where it was sold and then distributed to other people to do it. Make pies, make bread, make cakes, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, they didn't make all the pies and cakes and you know, bread at the fucking site of where the corn was growing. So why should stone be carved into blocks and then dragged as a block across the landscape when it could be easily made into fucking something that would move more easily? A column, maybe even, you know what I mean? A fucking, I don't know, a wheel shape, you know? Maybe those were the first fucking wheels. The fact that we moved stone over long distances, maybe in a round shape, maybe that gave them the idea of making a square cart that they used to drag on skids. Why don't we raise it up and put some fucking, you know, slices of that rolling column we used to move stone about on it, and, you know, made out of wood, and now we've got wheels. Who fucking knows how the wheel was invented? But it was certainly invented during the time when we were moving stone. So doesn't that tell you something? Isn't that a little spark in mind saying, you know, if the wheel was invented when man was moving stone, maybe moving stone as a round object rather than a square object was what gave people the idea of making wheels. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just putting shit out there, right? But I reckon my shit is a lot better than fucking aliens come down from the fucking sky and taught us levitation. I'm just saying, right? And if they taught us levitation, how come we fucking lost it? That would be a great ability, and it would be something you would fucking make sure you wouldn't lose. Fuck's sake. We never lost the ability to tell strange, shitty, stupid stories about men walking on water and bringing people back from the dead, and big people in the sky either hitting us with thunderbolts or cursing us with plagues, you know what I mean? Never lost the ability to do that. Still got that 2,000 years later, but we lost the ability to levitate stone. Why? I mean, why the fuck would we lose the ability to levitate stone? I mean, if anybody tried to kill everybody who knew that, well, you would just levitate them like you would stone and raise them in the air and drop them. Don't even have to fight them. Just use your levitation to fight them. Lift stones and drop the stones on them. You know what I mean? drop a mountain on them before they even get anywhere near killing you. You know what I mean? So how would we lose the ability to fucking levitate stone if we had already been taught how to do it? So that idea is right out the window. Aliens didn't come and show us how to build. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. You know what I mean? Maybe the aliens came and built it for us and then went away. Well, I would say not to that at all, because mankind being who he is, I know you might make friends with somebody and all that. Lots of us do. We're social animals. But there's a percentage, somewhere around about 20%, 25% of the population who are varying degrees of asocial, psychopathic, criminal-minded maniacs, which is why we keep falling back into the fucking almost dark ages that we keep going through every fucking couple of centuries. And I don't think they would let the aliens come and build something and go away. I think they would have been plotting all the time to capture an alien, when he knows, capture his spaceship and keep it and learn how to make them themselves, because that's what mankind does. Mankind doesn't just sit there and go, yes, you're going to just give me that and then take it away when you want. No, mankind doesn't do that. Some people will let you do it, but there's a lot of people who turn around and stab you in the fucking back, slit your throat, and keep what you've got in the first place. You know what I mean? That's the way mankind is. So I don't believe aliens could come down, show us how to build fucking pyramids with their big gigantic machines and then just fucking fuck off in their machines. No, I think some men would have fucking ganged together, killed some of them and stole the machines, and we'd have those machines today. They didn't exist, these flying saucer pyramid building machines, or we would have some remnants of it. Anyway, I digress. Crazy people have all these crazy stories and they don't give mankind, us human beings, you know what I mean, the true fucking credit that we deserve for being such a fucking intelligent animal. Sometimes too intelligent for our own fucking good. So intelligent sometimes we're stupid. We sometimes fail to see the trees for the forest. And that's what happens a lot of the time when people want to build something they think is going to be unique and of benefit to mankind. They fail to see the root system. They fail to see the foliage, which cuts the light out and destroys everything else around about the thing they're growing, you know. And we end up with some fantastic and unique ideas, fantastic and unique things that we build and make and develop, but which actually excludes the ability to be normal human beings in the process. We end up with the foliage of our ideas cutting out the light of intelligence, so it doesn't fall on the forest floor anymore, and nothing else will grow there than the ideology that we are fixated on. And that's the problem we have, I think, with the political systems of today. Only one plant can grow in the garden, basically. And when you do that, you actually destroy the natural growth that was there. And that natural growth is basically it's the sustenance, it's the bread and butter, it's the food and water of invention, of new ideas. When ideology gets to the point where we think we've come to the end of all knowledge and this one idea is true and nothing else can defeat it or become better than it, that's when we basically scour the ground. We've burnt the ground and basically poisoned it so nothing else will grow there. No better ideas will come forward because, yeah, you know, we've fucked the land up. It's not fertile anymore, you know. We need to keep fertile minds. We need to keep our minds going forward. We need to keep our minds guessing and re-evaluating all the time everything that we know, everything we've done in order to come up with new ideas. We can't be solid behind one ideology, one idea, one truth, because it doesn't exist. We know that these things don't exist. We are a constantly malleable, changing, you know what I mean, inventive sort of species. That's what we need to keep remembering and reminding ourselves of in order to continue to be the top species still alive on the planet. But remember, we need all the other stuff in order for us to be here. We can't live in a vacuum. If we kill everything else, destroy everything else, and all we have is us. If everything is just up for us to use and abuse, what's left in 1,000 years when we've basically got everything down to there's one plant that we eat, there's one animal we eat or don't eat if you're vegetarian, there's one building we live in, there's one car we drive, there's one plane we fly, there's one pencil we use, there's one computer that's everybody's got, there's one television screen, there's one kind of headphone, there's one haircut, there's one jacket for everybody, one pair of trousers for everybody, one pair of shoes, you know, one ring you can wear, one hat, is that what we're aiming for? Because that's what it seems when people get ideological. It's sort of like, well, there's no other choice except this, and once everybody agrees that this is the right one, then we can all just have that and nobody needs anything. I mean, that's sort of communist, isn't it? It's communistic. Nobody needs anything except the same meal. But we just eat porridge. Everyone just eat porridge. Everybody. Porridge for breakfast, porridge for dinner, porridge for tea. You can survive on it. You may not like it after 30 or 40 years of eating it, but you can survive on it. One hat, one car, one bus, one colour of paint, one size of house. It could be a very, very, very dangerous road to go down. And if we decide that, well, there's two levels of society, and that's for the poor, and then the rich can have all the fucking stuff that they want, which is the way that America's going, that's even more dangerous because it's more poor people than rich. And even if you employ and pay people to be the police force, the army, to protect you from the poor, eventually, because of the tight squeeze you put on even the people who protect you, a lot of them would go against you, and then the floodgates would open and eventually you'd be overcome. There'd be a riot, there'd be a revolution, there'd be a change. Because people can't live like that. Simple as that. We can't live like that. Fundamentalist religious people, fundamentalist political people, people with ideas that think, no, nothing needs to change because this is perfect. America, your constitution is not perfect. Get it? People say that this is better. If we just live the way our fathers told us to live, everything's going to be okay. Your fathers didn't live in your time. And you don't live in the time of your sons and daughters, sons and daughters time. You don't know the changes the world's going to go through. You can't tell them they're going to try and live like you. They might have to change huge things in their lives in order just to survive. And if you say to them, you can't change anything, you've got to live like this, that's when we hit that problem. Ideology, the canopy, nothing else grows. Destruction, extinction. Just saying, you know. Anyway, Swansea back, guys. I know this has been a long video. I've rambled and talked, but the fact that I've got longer videos and I'm able to do this and I don't feel rushed, I think I've covered lots of things and brought it all back to the same thing, so you can see where my thoughts go on this subject. And as I say, although I consider myself a sort of capitalist socialist, that's not to say that those are the only things I have in my repertoire. I understand the ideas that some people have about, legitimately, about keeping government out of your life. But the problem I find with a lot of people like that is the way they keep government out of your life is by putting government into your life in a huge way, and that it's contradictory. I don't understand how you can do that. We don't want government noise, so we force government not to be a noise, and people can't have this in their lives, a little bit more government than what I want, because that might infringe upon me not wanting it later when it's forced on me because it becomes best practice. And that's another thing you'll hear later in some videos, best practice. We've already argued about it already in America, I understand that, and we already use it in Britain. It's probably just not used as well as it should be used, because we still have certain cities that don't use best practice because of private industry, and in certain cases because of public workers who fear it might infringe upon their jobs. It's mostly middle and upper management. Don't want to change. They don't want to change the status quo. They want to keep their job. They don't want their job to be taken out and become non-functional anymore, and therefore, yeah, they get sacked, maybe moved into a lower category management job, or their job disappears completely because it's not best practice. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll go into maybe a best practice video another time. Swansea back, guys. I think I've covered most of what I was trying to cover here. I hope I did. But being very, 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 very drunk, I can only depend on you guys letting me know if I'm hitting the mark and interesting you in my views on the world and mankind, us human beings, not just being animals, but being animals still as well. Sounds good.